Your energy is about to shift in a big way. The Sun is moving into Pisces, Juno is shaking up relationships, and Ceres is bringing deep emotional healing. Here's how to navigate these changes and make them work for you. Hi everyone, welcome to A Piece of Chrissy, where I help you make sense of current astrological shifts and give you actionable steps and tips on how to live your most fulfilling and peaceful life. This week brings powerful cosmic shifts with both the Sun and Ceres moving into Pisces and Juno entering Sagittarius. These transits will affect our emotions, relationships, and personal growth in deep ways. Let's break it down, and as always, I will be giving you practical tips to help you make the most of this energy. Starting with Tuesday, February 18th, when the Sun moves into Pisces, the final sign of the zodiac. We are embracing themes of intuition, creativity, spirituality, surrender, and emotional depth. The collective energy shifts from the more intellectual and detached vibe of Aquarius into a much more intuitive and emotionally connected state. You might feel like your head is in the clouds a lot more during this time. Dreams can become a lot more intense and can spill over into your day, whether that's through daydreaming or simply being preoccupied with what happened in your dreams at night. So if you're waking up and you're thinking to yourself, oh my God, what was that dream about? Or you're feeling all confused and disoriented because your dream was so vivid and it takes a bit of time to get used to reality again, you're not alone. Pisces rules our subconscious. So what is actually happening is that your subconscious is working overtime to send you messages. And you'll probably be processing quite a few things that just weren't in your awareness before. Pisces is probably the most creative and artistic of all of the zodiac signs, so this is a great time to be creative. You might also feel yourself being pulled more towards spiritual topics, whether that's through going deep on your meditations or simply by the media that you consume. Boundaries do tend to dissolve a little bit in this sign, so just be wary of anybody in your immediate field who might be inclined to take advantage of that. This is a great time for journaling. For example, you might want to explore some of the themes that were coming up in your dreams. Personally, I find that just putting pen to paper really helps getting these hazy, incomplete thoughts out of my mind and thus processing them a lot more easily. If your mind is working very fast, then typing on a computer may actually be easier for you than writing by hand, where your hand can't really keep up with the speed that your mind is going. There's no law around this, it is all entirely up to personal preference. If you prefer doing guided journaling prompts, then this is one that I would like to suggest to you. And that's, what emotions am I avoiding and how can I gently process them? So that's, what emotions am I avoiding and how can I gently process them? So generally, this is a time where we want to prioritize rest, relaxation, and any kind of activities that make you feel good about yourself. It's the very last of winter, which is generally a time to hibernate, to rest, and replenish our energy reserves for when the spring starts with Aries season. Now, because of the way that Pisces can blur boundaries, we do, however, just want to be careful to avoid activities that are rooted in escapism. These can be very different for everybody. It could be consuming too much alcohol, too much online shopping, doom scrolling on social media, any kind of activity where you are trying to distract yourself from what is actually going on in your life. And we all have that kind of internal monitor that does tell us where an activity stops being fun and starts being something else other than fun. So just pay attention to that and make sure that you nourish yourself with the rest and with the activities that you spend your time on. 2 days later, on Thursday, February 20th, the asteroid Juno enters the sign of Sagittarius. Juno is another one of the goddess asteroids, and her position in the sky tells us about what to expect in committed relationships. In mythology, Juno was Jupiter's wife, and from the stories that are being told, she had the patience of an angel, considering what she was dealing with and what Jupiter was getting up to. In the sign of Sagittarius, though, Juno herself takes on a more adventurous role. We begin valuing freedom a lot more and get ignited by a sense of adventure and expanding our horizons. The secret sauce here is expanding your horizons together rather than separately. It's about growing closer while still keeping that sense of adventure alive. Above all, we place higher value on honest communication and genuine conversations. And for some people, this may actually mean spending more time apart. Something that the COVID years have really shown us is that when you spend all day in and out with your partner, that comes with its own set of challenges. And so what you might need actually is a bit more time apart to express your individuality better. The key here is just to have that conversation and to make sure that you are both on the same page about it. If you're single, this might be a time to be a little bit more open-minded and adventurous in your dating, and you may find yourself really pleasantly surprised by some people who you would have normally written off. Or if that sounds really exhausting, then this is also a good time to embrace your freedom and embrace your individuality and just give the dating game a bit of a break. If you are coupled up, then this is a great time to have some honest conversations about some activities that you would try together. Any new hobbies, any sports, any adventures, maybe plan a romantic getaway together. And your practical tip for this transit is to plan an exciting date night. And this can be a solo date, regardless of whether you're in a relationship or not. You can try a new class like dancing or cooking or pottery. Maybe go on a tour of all the exciting little street food spots in your city. Or go find the most niche, obscure museum in your area and go visit it. There are loads and loads of lists that you can find online with interesting and unusual date ideas. So plan one of those, put it on your calendar, and then you get the added bonus of the anticipation of the event as well as the event itself. And then at the end of the week, on Sunday, February 23rd, Ceres is then joining the Sun in the sign of Pisces. We spoke about Ceres in last week's video already because of the conjunctions that it made with Mercury and the Sun. But in the sign of Pisces, Ceres' nurturing and nourishing qualities take on an even deeper emotional and spiritual nuance. We will begin craving deep emotional connection. Empathy will naturally be heightened. So if you're someone who is already quite sensitive to the emotions of others, you may want to put in a little bit more effort to protect yourself and maybe avoid huge crowds if it's something that can be helped at all, just to keep yourself a little bit more balanced. We might see topics like care work, mental health issues, and emotional balance come up in the media a lot more because we will just all be tuned into these subjects more than usual. One thing that we do need to be careful with Ceres in this sign is this Pisces tendency towards self-sacrifice and downright martyrdom. So we may be tempted to put everybody else's needs before our own. And there is a time and place for that, and it does usually come from a genuine space, but we just need to be careful not to be pouring from an empty cup, so to speak, because when you do that, then it's easy for these actions to become tainted and become twisted with a sense of bitterness and resentment, even though that wasn't our intention at all in the first place, and it's just because we're drained and we don't actually have anything left to give. And then in those situations, nobody benefits. So just don't forget to look out for yourself as well during this transit to avoid that kind of scenario. Pisces is a water sign, and so this transit is a great time to celebrate and honor yourself with a luxurious bath. Treat yourself to a nice bath bomb or use some essential oils. Just make sure that you dilute them first because they can be quite irritating on the skin. Or ideally, try and use some Epsom salts and put on some nice spa music, light some candles, pour yourself a nice drink, whether that's an herbal tea or a kombucha or a glass of Prosecco, whatever you fancy, and just sink into the water, relax, and know that there is nowhere else that you need to be right now. And the reason Epsom salts are so good is because Epsom salts detoxify us through our skin. And in that similar vein, they can actually help draw out any emotional baggage that we have picked up from others due to our increased empathy. Epsom salts also have a lot of magnesium in them, and so that helps with a better night's sleep. So then at nighttime, your subconscious can go into processing mode and help heal any of those unresolved issues like we discussed earlier. If you don't have a bath, don't worry, you can still make your shower into a luxurious ritual. Maybe hang some eucalyptus over your shower. Or you can use these little shower steamers, and they're like little blocks that you put at the bottom of your shower, and when the hot water hits them, they start releasing essential oils and make your shower smell amazing. So, we're stepping into a dreamy but overall hopeful and optimistic new chapter next week. Our intuitive antennas are going to be highly sensitive, so don't ignore any gut feelings or intuitive nudges, and above everything, be kind and gentle with yourself. So I would love to know which of these transits resonate the most with you. Maybe you're already feeling the Pisces energy that's in the air, or maybe Juno is already shaking things up in your relationship. Let me know in the comments below. And if you're enjoying these insights, hit like and subscribe so that we can continue riding these cosmic waves together.